My name is Sophia. I am 28 years old, and I live in a calm area of Chicago called Lincoln Park. It is a quiet place with tall trees, small stores, and kind neighbors. Many people think my life is good. I have a husband, a comfortable apartment, and a steady job in a bookstore. But inside my heart, I am not happy. Every morning, I wake up feeling heavy inside. 1 year ago, I made a serious mistake. I married a man named Daniel. He is 32 years old. Daniel is not a bad man. He's gentle, caring, and always kind. But I do not love him. I married him because I was hurt and angry. I wanted to forget my ex-boyfriend, Mark, who broke my heart. I wanted to move forward fast, so when Daniel asked me to marry him, I said yes. At that time, I believed marriage would heal me. I thought love would come later, but love never came, and now I am the one in pain. Daniel tries every day to make me smile. He buys flowers every Friday. He cooks when I am tired. He leaves small notes in my lunch bag. He calls me his sunshine and kisses my forehead. Many women would feel lucky with a man like him, but I feel sad because my heart feels empty toward him. One evening, we sat on the balcony together. The sky was full of stars and the air felt warm. Daniel looked at me and said, "Sophia, I know you don't love me yet, but I believe you will one day. I will wait. My love is enough for both of us." His words almost made me cry. He had so much hope, but I felt none. I felt like I was lying every day. I smiled when I didn't want to. I thanked him when I felt nothing. I was living a life that didn't feel like mine. My mother once said to me, "Sophia, love can grow with time. Marriage is not only about strong feelings, it is about kindness and patience." I tried to believe her words. I tried to wait, but each day I felt more lost, like I didn't belong in my own life. One Friday night, Daniel prepared a special dinner. He cooked my favorite meal, chicken pasta with garlic bread. He lit candles, played soft music, and wore the blue shirt I liked. He said, "This is for you, Sophia. You mean everything to me." I looked at him, smiled gently, and said, "Thank you." But inside, I felt empty. I couldn't enjoy the food or the music. I felt like I was acting, not living. After dinner, Daniel held my hand and said, "Let's take a walk." We walked to the small park near our apartment. Under the old oak tree where he had proposed 1 year earlier, he smiled and said, "Do you remember this place? I promised to love you forever." I looked at the tree, then at him. I wanted to shout, "I don't love you," but I stayed silent. I didn't want to hurt him. He looked so happy, and I felt like a terrible person. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours. I thought about my choices and my heart. I asked myself, will I ever be happy again? The next morning, my best friend Chloe called me. She said, "Sophia, you sound tired. Are you okay?" I wanted to lie, but I couldn't. I told her the truth. "I don't love Daniel," I whispered. "I married him to forget someone else. Now I feel trapped." Chloe stayed quiet for a moment, then said, "Maybe you need space. Time alone might help." I shook my head. "It's not time, Chloe. My heart feels nothing." Later that day, I sat beside Daniel on the couch. I tried to speak. "Daniel," I said, "I need to tell you something." But before I continued, he stopped me. "I know," he said. "Please don't give up on us. I believe we can fix this." His eyes were full of hope. I felt even heavier. I was tired of carrying this secret. One Sunday, Daniel surprised me. "Sophia," he asked softly, "do you want to have a baby? Maybe it will bring us closer." I froze. The idea scared me. I looked down and said, "I'm not ready." He nodded slowly. He looked hurt but didn't argue. His kindness made me feel worse. That night I wrote in my journal, "I feel like I'm drowning in this marriage. Daniel deserves better." I also wrote, "I want to leave, but I'm afraid. What will people say? Will they call me selfish?" One evening, I packed a small bag. I planned to leave. I looked at Daniel sleeping. He looked peaceful. I stood by the door holding the bag, but I couldn't move. I placed it down, sat on the floor, and cried silently. The next morning, Daniel made coffee. He kissed my cheek and said, "Good morning, my love. I believe in us." His words broke me again. I looked out the window. The sun was bright. Children laughed. Life moved on, but inside I felt stuck. I knew one thing. I couldn't live like this forever. Before I continue my story, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me gives me strength. Please tell me in the comments. Days passed slowly. I woke up, went to work, came home, and smiled for Daniel, but inside I was exhausted from pretending. One Saturday, Daniel came home early with movie tickets. He said, "Let's go out tonight. I want to see you smile." I agreed, even though I didn't want to go. I wore a dress and lipstick. I looked happy, but I wasn't. At the theater, Daniel held my hand. He laughed. He looked at me, hoping. I tried to smile. After the movie, he asked, "That was fun, right?" I said yes, but my heart felt cold. At home, he made tea. He put his arm around me and whispered, "I missed you." I stayed quiet. My silence hurt him more than words. The next morning, I met Chloe at a cafe near the lake. The sky was gray. The wind was cold. She looked at me and said, "You look tired." I told her everything again. "I feel trapped," I said. "Everyone will hate me if I leave." Chloe held my hand. "No one can live your life for you," she said. "You must be honest. Daniel deserves truth. So do you." Her words stayed with me. That night, I sat by the window. Lights glowed in other homes. I wondered if others were pretending too. Daniel sat beside me and said, "I feel like I'm losing you." I lied again. "I'm just tired," I said. He nodded, but his eyes looked sad. The next week, Daniel planned a trip. "Let's go to Lake Geneva," he said. I agreed again. The lake was beautiful. The sky was clear. But inside, I felt nothing. Daniel smiled, laughed, took pictures. He held my hand and asked, "Isn't this nice?" My heart stayed silent. That night at the hotel, Daniel gave me a small box. Inside was a necklace with a tiny heart. He said, "My heart belongs to you." I felt tears in my eyes, not from joy, but from guilt. I didn't deserve his love. "Thank you," I whispered. Later, when Daniel was asleep, I sat on the floor beside the bed. I did not want to cry loudly. I just sat there and thought quietly. I remembered the first time we met. I remembered how kind Daniel was when Mark left me. He listened to me, helped me, and made me smile again. But love never grew in my heart. I married Daniel because I was hurt and broken. I did not think clearly. I believed staying with a kind person was better than being alone. Now I understood the truth. Living without love was even more painful. After we returned to Chicago, I began writing letters to myself. I never showed them to anyone. I wrote only for me. One letter said, "Sophia, you are not a bad person. You made a mistake, but not from cruelty. You were hurting. Now you must be brave and face your truth." Another letter said, "Daniel is not your enemy. He is kind, but he is not your home. You cannot give him the love he needs." Writing helped me see myself more clearly. It helped me understand my pain. A few days later, Chloe called me and said, "Sophia, you sound stronger." I replied, "I think I will tell Daniel everything. He deserves honesty." Chloe said, "I'm proud of you." That evening I made tea and asked Daniel to sit with me. My hands were shaking. "I need to tell you something," I said. He looked at me calmly and said, "Okay." I took a deep breath. "Daniel, I care about you. You are a good man, but I don't love you. I never did. I married you when I was broken. I hoped love would grow, but it didn't." Daniel stayed silent. He did not move. His face was peaceful, but his eyes were wet. He said softly, "I knew, Sophia. I saw it in your eyes. I just didn't want to accept it." Tears fell from my eyes. "I'm so sorry," I said. "I never wanted to hurt you." Daniel nodded. "I love you," he said, "but I can't be the only one holding this marriage. If your heart isn't here, I won't stop you." Even then, he was kind. That kindness hurt the most. We sat quietly for a long time. No anger, no shouting, only sadness. That night I slept on the couch. I stared at the wall and whispered, "I told the truth. I finally did." I didn't know what would happen next, but I felt lighter. For the first time in months, I felt I could breathe. The days after that were quiet. We lived in the same apartment but spoke little. We needed space. I slept in the guest room, Daniel slept alone. In the mornings, he still made coffee and left a cup for me, but there were no notes or smiles anymore, only silence. I went to work and tried to stay busy. I helped customers, organized books, and cleaned shelves, but my thoughts were always somewhere else. One afternoon, Chloe visited me at the bookstore. She hugged me and asked, "How are you?" I said, "It's hard, but I feel honest now." Chloe smiled and asked, "What will you do next?" I answered quietly, "I think I need to leave." That evening, I told Daniel I wanted to move out. He wasn't surprised. "Do you have somewhere to stay?" he asked. "Yes," I said. Chloe offered her guest room. Daniel nodded. After a moment, he said, "I'm not angry, just sad. Maybe this is the right choice." Tears fell from my eyes. "I'm so sorry," I said. "I never wanted to hurt you." He gave a gentle smile. "You didn't break my heart. I gave it freely. I don't regret loving you." His words were soft but painful. The next morning, I packed my clothes and some books. I didn't take much. The apartment felt heavy with memories. Daniel helped me carry my bag to the door. "If you ever need anything, call me," he said. I nodded. "Thank you for everything. You were always kind to me." He looked at me and said, "Take care, Sophia." Then I left. Chloe was waiting in her car. She smiled. "Let's go," she said. I got in and we drove away. I didn't turn back. At Chloe's place, I sat in the guest room and cried, not because I missed Daniel, but because I felt many emotions: sadness, guilt, fear, and a small sense of hope. For the first time, I chose myself. Weeks passed. I stayed with Chloe. I helped cook, cleaned dishes, and sometimes watched movies. She never forced me to talk, but she was always there. I began walking by the lake. I watched people live their lives. It made me feel calm. One day, I saw a flyer for a writing class at the community center. I felt something inside me say, "Try." I joined. There were 8 people. We wrote and shared stories. Slowly, I enjoyed it. One evening, I wrote, "I lost love before I found it, but now I am finding myself." I smiled. Later, Daniel sent me a message. He said he was doing okay and had joined a cooking class. I replied kindly and wished him happiness. We didn't speak again, but it felt peaceful. Months later, I found a small studio near work. It was simple, but mine. I decorated it with flowers and pictures. I felt lonely sometimes, but also free. I still thought of Daniel. I hoped he would find someone who truly loved him. One day, I found the heart necklace. I placed it in a box with a note and asked Chloe to return it. As seasons changed, so did I. I smiled more. I laughed. I grew. One night, I looked at myself in the mirror and whispered, "This isn't a perfect story, but it's mine. Never silence your heart." If you feel like me, know this: you are not alone. Mistakes happen. You can start again. Thank you for listening. This story is real, and sometimes being real is the bravest thing. If this story touched you, like, comment, and share. More stories are coming soon.